Darren, should we start with Jack Marriott? I suppose there's always an element of you don't want to put too much pressure on any player, but clearly it's good news that he's back in contention.
Very good news for everyone, and he's obviously been missed. He's looking as good as he has since he's come back to us. Better than when he was even, playing in the games he did. He's moving far freer, looks sharper. Yeah, the boy's done well. His rehab's gone very, very well, ahead of schedule. So he'll be involved tomorrow.
And presumably not only his clear ability and what he brings to the side in that sense, but he's a big personality as well. You're presumably good to have that back.
Great to have it back. He is very good in that sense. Even when he's been injured, in all the home games he's been at them, I've said to him, look, be in the dressing room, because he's a good person to listen to for the younger players in particular. He's got good experience of the level. Even though he's still fairly young himself, he has got good experience, and he speaks well, Jack, to be fair. He's an intelligent boy. So, no, it's good to have him back because he brings real quality, and it's something we've been missing.
Yeah, and it's now, I know you won't want to rush anything, but if you can find a combination in attack that really works and he can be part of that, it'd be a huge boost.
Yeah, we're happy we've got him back. We've obviously got young Ricky back as well from injury. So it helps us in these areas up front. We've obviously brought Callum in, so there's a lot more competition now, which I think is needed. So I'm looking forward to having them back, but obviously we have to go easy with them. We've got a lot of games coming up, and in that sense, we're going to have to utilise all the squad throughout this really, really sort of congested period.
Yeah, psychologically, it is a real issue when you're struggling for the goals, in that when you go one down in a game, it's that much harder for the whole team, isn't it? Not just the strikers, if you know that getting the goals is a bit tougher. So if you can find a formula that works, well, it goes without saying, it's massive, isn't it?
Well, it is. And it's probably been quite frustrating for me as well, because I'm not a big lover of constantly changing my team and changing partnerships, but I've just not been able to get one going for many reasons. Injuries, the COVID, where Jono had 4 games out with the ban. But we can't make excuses. We haven't been good enough in that sense. We are creating chances, which is a good thing, I have to say. Even against Coventry, we had 4 opportunities in the first half, or 3v3. So we are creating things. If we weren't creating chances, that'd be even more of a problem. And now we've got to find a way of keeping the players' confidence and being a lot more clinical.
Without giving too much away on the specifics, are you working with roughly the same group of players from last weekend? Any issues popped up? Obviously, you'll have Jack as an addition.
No issues. Touch wood. All players are clear throughout the week. Again, this morning, all staff fine. We've had a good week, and I think we're ready for this game tomorrow.
And with picking the team, I guess there's that balancing act, and we've seen it before this season, where when you've had a disappointing afternoon, there's perhaps some motivation to try something different, and yet you want to try and build some momentum, and a lot of the principles you've been working with up until the Coventry game had shown promise. So it's getting that balance.
I think you're absolutely right, and one performance can't spook you too much. Look, I understand the heavy criticism that we all took last week. We let everyone down, myself, the players, everyone, all the fans. We let them down. We're better than that. We're not. That's not the team we are, and we can't have any more performances like that. I've got to be honest, because that then will put pressure on. There's no doubt about it. Unnecessary in terms of the way we performed. We were way off Coventry. That's never happened this season before at home. Away from home, we've taken some beatings. But what we've got to get tomorrow is a real spirited performance, and again, hoping the day that it's good enough to beat West Brom.
And of course, you've had your setbacks, but looking at the table, you're still right in it points wise. I know it doesn't necessarily feel that way when you've had a tough time, but this season is still there, isn't it?
Yeah, we've sort of congested the league a little bit for the players in terms of making it a mini league, because that's really what we're in. And you're absolutely correct. We're right bang in it, and there's teams around us in worse form than us, and it's just the manner of the performance last week was the thing that I think how can I put it? That was the disappointment. No one's more disappointed than me and the players. It was like a morgue in the dressing room after. We knew that was nowhere near the levels that we can get to. So we've got to do something about it. Simple as that. Everyone will be looking at us. We have to get a response, and we have to get one tomorrow.
Yeah, and I know it's easier said than done, but you really don't want to get bogged down in everything that's happened beforehand, what you hope to achieve, what could have happened. It doesn't matter now, does it? This is what you've got, and you've got to try and make it work from here.
Yeah, we've got no choice. We have to make it work. We've got 22 games left, and we have to fight like hell to try and get as many points as we can. Probably not going to be anywhere near as many points as you would normally need, just given the nature of the league this season. But we're only focusing really on tomorrow. We gave them a really good game at our place. They scored with the last kick of the ball. We've watched the game back together in terms of the first half, what sort of a game it was and what sort of a game we can expect. So we're going to have to really battle tomorrow to get anything.
Yeah, and I know typically you wouldn't want to overthink the opposition or over-consider what they're about, but equally important to keep in mind that if you feel you've had a difficult couple of weeks, West Brom, with their aspirations, they're in the same boat, aren't they? They're not terribly happy right now, and that's part of the context.
Yeah, there's pressure always in football, in different levels of pressure. Our pressure at the moment is obviously to get out of the bottom three. Theirs is to get back into the top two. So the expectations for that club are to win the league, I think, or certainly to be in the top two. So that's just what comes with it. When you get relegated from a league above, that is the expectations, that you'd expect it to go and challenge at the top two. And look, they've been around it all season, and I think they'll continue to be around it, but there is a little bit of pressure on them as well. So I think you would say the same for both teams.
Yeah, a little bit like Nottingham Forest away the other week, where we were speaking about inevitably the first goal being crucial. You actually got the performance, but didn't manage to get the goal in that first half. Full well on Saturday, if you can get your noses in front, then that really does give you a boost in terms of all of the issues that West Brom have been dealing with.
Well, I think what's clear is in this league, when you get half chances, they're good chances for us. And what we've got to be doing is, especially like you say, when the game's level, is we've just got to be more clinical, and we've got to take these little opportunities we get in games. Because if you don't, you get punished very, very quickly just because of the quality you're playing against. Now, this is not me saying this at the start of a season when people might not be aware of it. We're well into this season. We're over halfway. We're fully aware of what teams can do to you. But it really is about us, Peter, and we have to find improvement. There's no doubt about it. The stats are not good, but I still firmly believe that this team and this squad are capable of having a good second half of the season and getting enough points to keep us in the league. And
a perfect example, really, of the taking of the chances, I would guess, the opening part of the game last weekend, up until the first goal goes in, I don't suppose you were too unhappy with what you were seeing. It was a close game. You were holding your own, but it's the goal then that really changes it.
Yeah, like I said, we watched it back. We had 3 or 4 opportunities where we're breaking from the halfway line and we're 3v3. We pick the wrong decision, make the wrong pass. The weight of the pass is incorrect. The other way, we lose the ball. Goddard gets it, smash goal. That really is the difference we've found this season. But I think I've got players capable. I do. We just need them to step up and very, very quickly.
With the final week or so of the transfer window, is it more about moving a couple of players out for you now rather than getting more in? I guess you've always got an eye on players, but is it more about outs than ins?
Not necessarily. I've kind of left that to the powers to be, Barry and that, in terms of whether we're doing anything ins or outs. I've just this week fully concentrated on the players and making sure we have a good week and making sure that, the players are fully focused and I've got over Coventry quickly. So the ins and outs, no, I'm not really anything happening. I've not had, to be honest. There's not going to be a great deal happening, I wouldn't imagine, before the window shuts now. But I think with the way football is at the moment, in terms of, I suppose, the way the world is economically, not much money about football. I think it's a domino effect. When one happens, maybe another one happens, if you know what I mean. I think everyone's waiting for the first one to happen. I don't think there's been hardly any money spent at all. So, and I don't expect it to be a real mad rush like it sometimes is, which is fine with me, because I don't like getting into this last minute things. I don't think it's a great thing to be doing, and I've never been a lover of changing everything in January. But obviously, we try to do one or two things this month to maybe freshen it up a little bit. It hasn't quite come off.